Welcome back to my art studio. This is Wendy Layne. Today I'm going to be working on a watercolor from a reference photo that I took in Venice. I've already sketched it out and taped it down to my surface, and I'm going to be using a piece of Stonehenge Aqua cold press paper by Legion Paper. And I'll be working with a set of Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer Watercolor markers. There's 20 in this box. But you can buy them in sets of 5, 10, 20, and 30, or individually from some art stores. This box has 2 layers with 10 markers on each layer. These markers contain extremely light fast pigments, and they're great for travel, especially when you want to just do a quick sketch and then take it home and apply water to finish your painting. The markers are also conveniently double-sided, with one side having a flexible brush for all-over color and the other side having a smooth nib for sketching. There's a variety of ways to create beautiful watercolor effects. You can see that when I apply water to the side where I use the smooth nib, you can see that as the water dissolves the color, there's still a slight line left underneath. And then on the brush side, when I apply the water, it's very easy to fade from dark to light. I can also apply water to the paper first, and then using the brush side of the marker, touch it very lightly just to apply a little bit of color. And then using my brush, I can blend that color around just for a light wash. I'm going to be using a variety of these techniques in my sketch of Venice, Italy. My sketch was actually created with Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, so as I go over them with water and with the watercolor markers, the lines will disappear. I started by just wetting the paper in the area where I'm going to be applying some green gold. Then using the green gold on the side, I apply just a little bit of color. Then I use a brush and I spread the color around. Then applying a little bit more, and once again spreading the color around. And now I'll speed this process up for the sake of time, but you can see that I am adding a little heavier color in some areas and a little lighter in others. It really depends on the reference photo and the effect that you want. And of course, by applying more water, you can thin out the amount of pigment that is in a particular area of the paper. And if you need more pigment, you can go right back on top of an area that you've already done. It's a good idea, if you're not exactly sure what color you're going to get from a marker, to test it first on a separate sheet of paper. So I'm testing some of the greens. Once I've tested my greens, I apply water to the paper where I'm going to be putting down the green. Now that I know what the various greens look like, I'm starting with May green, and I'm just gently applying a little streak of it where I want to put it down. And then I add a little dark phthalo green, just a few touches here and there. And then blending it with a wet brush. And now I'll speed up the video while I apply the rest of the greens. The markers make it much easier than standard watercolor to define the shape before you apply the water. I'm now using the cold gray to mark in some of the areas of the building. You'll notice that I'm not completely dissolving the lines that I create. so that I can leave some of those lines in there for the building effect. You can also layer and blend multiple colors very easily. Typically, when I don't want the lines to show up, I apply water to the paper first. Having the paper wet first allows me to blend multiple colors seamlessly together. This entire project took me an hour and 40 minutes. And after applying a few more layers of watercolor marker, this was my finished painting of Venice. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy working with the Albrecht Dürer watercolor markers as much as I do.